Hey guys, I just want to do my Thursday check-in. I am going to try to be brief today, so hopefully this won't be too long. But there's a few things I just wanted to tackle. So first of all, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope everything is going good for you. And if not, if there's anything anybody needs, please let us know. And we have plenty of people that want to be able to pitch in and help anyone who has a need. So if you do, please let us know. As you probably know, we're kind of as a at least within the United States, we're kind of turning a bit of a corner where we feel like we're trying to look toward how to reopen things, and so of course we're looking for for businesses and for all that stuff, but also for churches are looking at how do we reopen as things progress. And as you know, I'm sure our governor has stated that it sounds like she's trying to do this in line with what Trump has kind of stated as far as this 3-phase progressive reopening, and trying to hit benchmarks, and if the benchmarks are hit, then the next phase we go into the next phase, which lessens restrictions and things like that, which brings up a lot of questions that we as leadership here at the church have to kind of wrestle with. And that is, okay, so with this new phased reopening program, what does that look like for us as a church? If phase 2, which seems to be, the number like 50 people seems to be the number floating around for phase 2, whatever 50 people means, which that's the one thing about all this is sometimes we get a lot of information with very few actual details, but more kind of vague just statements. And while that's frustrating, we're just trying to navigate what that might look like for us. But if it is this 50-person thing, how do we incorporate that into maybe our own reopening, and what might that look like? And so I just want you to know that we're wrestling through some of that stuff, but of course we're kind of waiting with everybody else to see exactly what the details are, because it's in those details when we're going to figure out exactly what we can do. And I can tell you that we're anxious. We're anxious to get back, as I know many of you are anxious to get back to worshiping together in person. I can tell you right now, it's not going to be a light switch. It's the way that they have laid this out. I'd like it to just be like they just say, okay, at this date everything just goes back to normal, the way it was. We could just bring everyone back and it would just go. But unfortunately, that's not how it's being laid out. So we're having to try, and all churches are having to try and navigate through what is this going to look like. So just, I guess, one, I want you to know that we're working on it and we're discussing it. But of course, we have to wait until more details come to be able to get a better idea. We have some rough ideas that we're working on. So I would also ask that you be patient with us, and we ask for your grace as we just try to figure out the best path forward, because that's what we're trying to do. And in that, I ask that you'd keep us in your prayers as we do this, because at the end of the day, what we want, we want us to come together, but we want to do whatever is going to most glorify Christ in our response. And when you're in times in situations where you've never been before, sometimes trying to figure out what that is difficult. And so we're kind of just trying to feel our way through, and so we definitely would ask for your prayers. And I can tell you, I think I can speak for all the guys in saying that, we very much would appreciate your prayers, and And I know those guys, they do. They want to glorify Christ in what we do as a church. That is the primary desire around that group. So just ask for that, for your prayers, and also too, just on this note, I also want to say that, as we move forward toward being able to do more things, regroup in different ways, I know that for some of you, I should say, I know out there, even amongst our body, we're kind of all in different places. We're in different places with it. Some of us are just like, you are just ready. You were ready yesterday. I mean, it's like, I would go tomorrow. No problem. And then there's others of you who are, you're more cautious. You're more like, well, I think the slower, more gradual approach is better. Both of these are okay. This is something I don't want the divisiveness that's out there in the culture, and I don't want that to permeate into our actual body. There's lots of disagreements going on out there amongst groups, and I get it. But I also want to recognize, and we need to recognize, that different people are coming from different perspectives, and we need to be able to give allowance for that and to give grace for that. For somebody, maybe we don't necessarily agree with their perspective, but we need to remember that we need to maintain a unity. Now, that being said, whatever we decide moving forward, as far as how to gather, we recognize as leadership that people are going to be in different places, and so we want to make sure that everybody, whatever it is that we are able to offer, we totally understand people who maybe aren't going to be comfortable jumping right into, right back into where we were, and we want you to know that that's okay. And we're trying to also do other things to try and help those who aren't as comfortable about just rejoining back in. That's one of the benefits of this whole time has been learning a few lessons about things like how you can leverage online resources in order to incorporate it, not as a replacement for, but to help incorporate the worship service. And so we're exploring more options as far as that goes. But I just want to make sure that we understand that, moving forward, we want to go in unity and recognize with room in unity for diversity, to be able to allow for people who have different perspectives, and not throwing shade on one another that might, have a different viewpoint than the other person does. So that's it. And so that's all for today. I just wanted to touch base and let you know. It's funny because we've been given vague details about stuff, and that really, ambiguity infuriates me, and yet here I am being kind of ambiguous on what we're doing, but it's because I don't know either. But I just want to let you know that we are working on as much as we can, and I do want your prayers and hope that I just hope we can get together soon, and we can just start in with the new normal, whatever that might be. And I'm looking forward to it. So I hope you guys are staying safe. And again, if you need any help, just let us know, and we will continue to stay in touch. All right. I'll talk to you on Sunday. Bye.